Hello, welcome to busyping.com. My name is Arun Nair. In this video, I'm going to show you how to simulate a WAN link on VMware Workstation. Alright, so let's get started. For this experiment, I'm going to use two Windows 2012 Server R2 machines installed on my VMware Workstation. So the first one is Win 2012 DC02 and the IP address is 10.10.0.61. And the second one is Win 2012 DC03 and the IP address is 10.10.0.62. Now they both are on the same subnet right now, okay? And you can see that the network adapter is connected to a LAN segment called New York. And it's the same for the other server as well. They both are connected to a LAN segment called New York. All right, now before we proceed any further, I would like to show you the data transfer rate between these two servers in the current scenario. All right, so I have a file here called sample, which is 641 MB. Now I'm going to access the C drive of the other server, which is Win 2012 DC03/C $, and I have a test folder here. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. I have installed TerraCopy, which is a very useful software where I can actually go ahead and check the transfer rate. You see this? It's 20 megabytes per second. So if you convert it into megabits, it's like 160 megabits per second. All right, so it's pretty fast. All right, so I'm just going to click cancel and close. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this server Win 2012 DC03 to a different LAN segment called called Los Angeles. Currently it is New York. I'm going to move it to Los Angeles. I'm also going to change the IP address from 10.10.0.62 to 10.20.0.62. So I'm going to go ahead and change it right away. So the default gateway will be 10.20.0.1. Okay, now that I have changed the subnet and I have put this on a completely different LAN segment, I will not be able to ping the other server, which is 10.10.0.61. You see this? It will come out with request timed out because they are on a different LAN segment, they are on a different subnet. So it's just like they are connected to two different switches. So it's the same from here. It's 10.20.0.62. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce two routers in between these two LAN segments. Okay, so when we started, our setup was like this. We had two servers on the same LAN segment called New York and in the same subnet, which is 10.10.0.0. Then we moved a Win 2012 DC03 server to a different LAN segment called Los Angeles and to a different subnet, which is 10.20.0.0. Now, as I said, I'm going to bring in two routers, one on each side, and connect them. And then I'm going to establish a WAN link between them, which will be at a speed of 1.544 Mbps. And these two routers will have the IP address of 192.168.10.1 and 192.168.10.2 to communicate between each other. And the inner side of their interface, which is going to face the switch, is going to be 10.10.0.1 on New York side and 10.20.0.1 on Los Angeles side. So basically this 10.10.0.1 is going to be the default gateway for Win 2012 DC02 and 10.20.0.1 is going to be the default gateway for Win 2012 DC03. Alright, so in order to set these routers up, I'm going to use a free Linux based router software called Freesco. You can go to www.freesco.org and you can go here and you can download this software. Now Freesco is very lightweight and very small. It is just 1.4 MB. It can run from a floppy disk. Now if you go to this download site, you will actually get it in zip format or exe format or tar.gz format. Now you will have to convert that into FLP image, and then you will have to mount it on VMware Workstation. You don't have to do that. I have actually done that, and you can get the download link from the description of this video. Alright, so let me show you how to install Freesco. So I can go to VMware Workstation. I'm going to create a new virtual machine. Click typical, next, then select Linux and other Linux 2.6.x kernel. Click next. Now here I'm going to name this router as New York router and click next. And you can just put 0.1 GB. Actually, you don't require a disk at all, but for the sake of it, I'm just putting it and I'm going to remove it anyway. Then click next and click finish. Now I'm going to move this to the center. Then I'm going to create one more virtual machine. Click next, other Linux 2.6.x kernel, next. I'm going to name this as Los Angeles router, LAX router, next, and the same way 0.1, next, finish. So I'm going to move this to the center as well. So this Win 2012 DC03 is going to communicate to this, and Win 2012 DC02 is going to communicate to NY router. All right, now I already have the FLP image. This is a floppy image. I have put the same thing in the description. You can download from that. It's just 1.4 MB. All right, now I'm going to customize the hardware settings here. So go to settings. You can remove hard drive. You can remove DVD drive. You can remove USB controller. You can remove sound card, printer. This is all you need. Now the network adapter. So the first adapter, just put it as bridged, and this is, we are not going to use this adapter. This is going to be connected to your PC, and we don't have to use that. So, but just put it as bridged. The next adapter will be, okay, so while creating it, select host only, click finish. Now select the LAN segment and click New York. Click OK. Now we need to create one more network adapter. All right, so let me show it to you on the other screen. So here, if you look at the first LAN adapter, it is nothing. We are not going to use it anywhere. This is going to be the second LAN adapter, which is 10.10.0.1. all right, and the third LAN adapter, we need to create one for this point where we assign 192.168.10.1. Now this is going to be a different, we need to put this into a different LAN segment. Okay, so I'm going to create a new LAN segment called router. So add, select network adapter, click next, just select host only, click finish, then again select this, select LAN segment, click on LAN segment, add router. Okay, and select this. So both these routers are going to communicate in the router LAN segment, which we are going to convert into WAN, which I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so click OK. Now the next thing you want to do is again go to settings, click add, click floppy drive, click next. So I'm going to use a floppy image, next, browse, and I'm going to select virtual router.flp, finish, OK. In the same way, I'm going to go to the other LAX router. I'm going to settings, I'm going to remove hard drive, remove CD drive, remove USB controller, remove sound card, remove printer, add. So this one, the first adapter, I'm going to put it as bridged. That's something which we are not going to bother about. All right, the next adapter, I'm going to select network adapter, next. I'm going to just put it host only for now, but I'm going to again come back to this and select LAN segment, and I'm going to select this time as Los Angeles. All right, then the third adapter, I'm going to select host only, finish, and then I'm going to select the third adapter as router. All right, So here, if you see the first adapter, we are not using it anywhere. It's just connecting to your home router. It is actually bridging through your PC's network card and it's connecting to your home router. So let's ignore that. Then the second adapter will be this one, which connects to your switch, and the third adapter will be the one which connects to your other router on the other side. Okay. All right, now let's set up the routers. So I'm going to set up the first one, which is NY router. I'm going to power on this. And so here you enter the command setup, hit enter. So it's going to boot. You will get weird music from your CPU's speaker. All right. So type in the username as root and the password is busyping. All right. Now here it says, okay, the password is busyping, all in lowercase. I forgot to say that. Okay, so here it says continue in color or monochrome mode C/M. So just type C, and here you need to enter E. So you're going to configure this router as an Ethernet router. So configure E and hit enter. Host name of this router. So I'm going to name it as NY router. Domain, you can just leave it INET, it doesn't matter. Now here you don't have to make anything, so just hit X and hit enter. Now here you will be in the interface. So we have three network adapters. The ETH0, Ethernet 0, that's the one which is going to face your home router, so you don't have to touch that, you can just leave it as it is. Now the second one is ETH1, which is going to be your network adapter, which is going to be the adapter that's going to face your site, that is your switch. Okay, so the LAN segment basically. All right, so I'm going to hit 1 and I'm going to select that. So here I'm going to leave the interface name as ETH1. I'm not going to touch that. The second one will be the IP address. So 621, oops, I need to enter the numlock. So 621 is the IP address. So I'm going to type 621, hit enter. So here I'm going to enter the IP address 10.10.0.1. So you remember this, here the IP address is 10.10.0.1. So it's the same IP address I'm going to enter here, 10.10.0.1, hit enter. And the network mask, it is already 255.255.250, that's my subnet mask. And the network address is 10.10.0.0, that's right. The broadcast address is 10.10.0.255. All right. Now I'm going to switch to the third adapter, which is actually number 2. So it's, the first adapter is 0, the second adapter is 1, and the third adapter is 2. So I'm going to select 2. And here I'm going to enter the interface name as ETH2. And the IP address, I'm going to enter it as 192.168.10.1. So do you see this one? 192.168.10.1. All right. And here I'm going to enter the subnet mask as 255.255.255.248. I mean, you can leave it as 0, 255.255.250. It doesn't matter, but you know, it's just two. It is only 2 IP addresses, so I'm just going to use 255.255.248 and hit enter. So that is it. So you just click. So all the 3 adapters are configured. Click X and hit enter. Now it says auto detect modems now. No. Enter. Do you need the advanced modem setup? No. Now trust local network 1, yes. Trust local network 2, yes. Trust modem link, no. Enable caching DNS server, no. Enable DHCP server. You don't have to type N, because if you see something in the bracket, it means that's the default option. So if you just hit enter, it takes us no. Enable public HTTP server, no. Enable time server, no. Print server, no. SSH server, no. FTP server, no. RA server, no. So you can leave the default log size for 50,000 and the other one is 5,000. Do you want to say change the system logs? No. 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 Just keep hitting no. Primary DNS server you really don't need. Just hit no. No. Do you want to change the root and admin password? So you can hit yes and you can change it to whatever you want. So I usually change it. So now I've changed for it root, and now I'm changing it for admin. Then the other one is PPP. PPP we really don't use it, but still you can just change it. Now hit enter. The next step is save current config and exit. You see S, so hit S and hit enter. It's going to reboot now. If it doesn't reboot, if it just comes and stays on the prompt and on the command prompt, just type a reboot, R-E-B-O-O-T, and hit enter, and it just reboots. That's it. So now you can just go ahead and hit enter, and it is going to boot. Okay, so we can see that ETH0, we didn't touch it, so you can leave it. ETH1, it's 10.10.0.1. ETH2 is 192.168.10.1. Gateway, it was already there, but we really don't want the default gateway anyway. All right. Okay, now let's go to the LAX router and do the same thing. So I'm going to power on the virtual machine. So it's going to boot up. So I'm typing setup. So I enter the username and I enter the password as busyping, all lowercase, and CE. So host name of the router, I'm going to name it as LAX router, and domain name I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to hit X for hardware settings. So I'm going to leave ETH0 as I did for the last, for the last router, which is NY router, and I'm going to select the next interface, which is ETH1. So I type 1, and now I have ETH1. So I'm going to select 621, which is the IP address. So I'm going to put the IP address 10.20.0.1, and the network mask is 255.255.255.0, and network address is 10.20.0.0. Everything is as it is, you can see. Now I'm going to select the next adapter, which is ETH2. So I'm going to name it as ETH2. I'm going to type 192.168.10.2. Then I need to enter the subnet mask. So I select 622 and then type in the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.248. The same way I did for the other router. Okay, so I'm going to type X and no, yes, no. Keep hitting enter until I get the screen. Okay. Before I could hit enter for changing root and admin password, I hit enter, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and click enter, and I'm going to save by clicking S and hit enter. So it's going to reboot now. All right, so here I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to boot the router. So you can see the interface IP addresses have come the same way we have configured. So I'm going to log in. So I'm going to ping 10.20. Ping 10.20.0.62. I'm able to ping. Good. All right, so let me go to the server as well and see if I can ping the server. It is ping the router, so it's ping 10.20.0.1. Excellent. So let me go to the other server and let me see I can ping its router, which is 10.10.0.1. Excellent. Now let's try pinging the other server, which is 10.20.0.62. Oh, look at that. You're getting destination host unreachable. Well, we established two routers. We connected them using, a link. You can see there's both these routers. They are connected on the same LAN segment router, and, they are assigned the IP address 192.168.10.1 and 10.2, but still it's not working, and you're getting a weird destination host unreachable from the IP address 192.168.2.2. We configured 10.10.0.1 1 and 192.160.10.1, but you are getting it from 192.160.2.2. You remember we have the ETH0 interface is 192.160.2.2, and that subnet has the gateway, which is 192.160.2.1. So when this request of 10.20.0.62 came to this router, because the default gateway for this server is this router, and when it reached this router's default gateway is 192.160.2.1, which is actually on this interface ETH0. And that is the reason when it reaches this ETH0, this ETH0 doesn't know where to route it. It doesn't know where to route it. So that's the reason why it replied from 192.160.2.2 saying that destination host unreachable. You will get the same thing here in the other server. If you just ping 10.10.0.61, you will get the same thing. So why is that? Then what is the purpose of router? You have set up the router and it's not working. Well, a router is good enough as a router only if you just set up some routing protocols. Now, there are a lot of automatic routing protocols like OSPF and other things, but I'm not going to do all those. I'm just going to add a simple static route. So what is a static route? A static route is something that will instruct the router saying that if you get a packet from a packet asking for some specific subnet, send it to this IP address. All right, so what I'm trying to say is you have this 10.10.0.61 and it is trying to ping 10.20.0.62. When it reaches your router, when your server reaches your router asking for 10.20.0.62, which is basically you're trying to ping from 10.10.series to 10.20.series, your router should know, okay, to reach 10.20.0.62, it has to forward the packet to this interface, to this router, which is 192.160.10.2, and this router will take care of forwarding it to this. So you will have to add a static route. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to log in. Okay, so it's NY router. NY router has the IP address of 10.10.0.1 and 192.168.10.1. So we are going to instruct this router, NY router, saying that if you get a packet for 10.20.series, forward that packet to 192.160.10.2 IP address. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. So route add -net 10.20.0.0 space net mask 255.255.255.0 space gateway 192.168.10.2. So you're basically saying that if you get any packet for 10.20.0.0 network where the network ID is the first 3 octet, which is 255.255.255.0, then send the packet to 192.160.10.2. I'm going to add that, hit enter. Oh, so I got some weird error message. Is because sometimes if you do backspace and stuff, this Freesco it just freaks out. So I'm just going to add one more time. Route add 10.20.0.0 net mask 255.255.255.0 gateway 192.168.10.2. Okay, excellent. Now if I type the command route, I can see this gateway for 10.20.0.0 route. The gateway is 192.160.10.2. Okay, similarly I'm going to go to the other LAX router. First I'm going to just type the route command to display the existing routing table. So if you see, it doesn't have a route for 10.10.series, so I'm going to add the same thing, route add net 10.10.0.0 net mask 255.255.255.0 and the gateway will be, so for this router, the gateway for 10.10. series will be 192.168.10.1. okay, so it's gateway 192.168.10.1. all right, now if I type route, I can see this. all right, okay, now what happens is you have the default gateway as 192.168.2.1. all right, but we have an explicit route defined for 10.20 series. So whenever there's an explicit route, your router will first check that and only it'll go to the default gateway. So now if I ping from here, ping 10.20.0.62, I get the reply. Voila. So I'm going to do the same thing from here. I'm going to ping 10.10.0.61. all right. All right, so now that we have set up the router and tested the connectivity between all the devices, we are going to get into the next section, which is emulating or simulating the WAN link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the speed for this link, which connects these two routers from unlimited speed to 1.544 Mbps. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to the router, right click, settings, go to the third network adapter, which is connected to this router LAN segment, right? That's what it connects both these routers. So I'm going to go to advanced, and from unlimited, I'm going to change to 1.544 Mbps. And here as well, I'm going to change 1.544 Mbps. Click OK. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the next router, settings, network adapter 3, and I'm going to go to 1.544 Mbps, 1.544 Mbps, click OK. Click OK. all right, so I'm going to do the same testing of transferring the sample file from Win 2012 DC02 to Win 2012 DC03 and see the speed. Okay, I'm going to go to start, run, and / Win 2012 DC03 / $. So hit enter. Oops, it says Windows cannot access Win 2012. Okay, let me go to the command prompt and see what's wrong. So ping Win 2012 DC03. Okay. You see this? It's actually pinging the old IP address 10.10.0.62. Now we have changed it to 10.20.0.62. Okay, so for some reason, this server did not register its new DNS server. Its new IP address to the DNS server, so we are not going to worry about that. For now, I'm not going to fix it. I'll fix it later. For now, I'm going to just use the IP address, so it'll be 10.20.0.62/$. Okay, so I got this, and I'm going to copy this and paste. So let's wait for the transfer rate, which will appear here. Okay, it's 205 kilobytes per second. So if you just calculate that, 205 into 8, if you just want to convert from bytes to bits, you just multiply by 8, because 1 byte is 8 bits. I'm sure you all know. So just multiply by 8 and you get 1640 kilobits per second, which is 1.6 megabits per second, which is approximately equal to 1.544, right? All right, so this is it, folks. If you want to simulate a WAN link, this is how you can do it. So it's copying at a steady 205 kilobytes per second. So if you want, you can reduce the speed further, and it will proportionally reduce the speed transfer rate here. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.